tonight. It's always a pleasure to bring on some of the guests we have on the panel, never more so than tonight. We're going to go straight to the guest because, frankly, in years of talking about things as if we knew anything, it is actually quite opening to me soon, who genuinely does know stuff about things that are happening in the world because he's been there. When I say he's been there, at the fall of the Berlin Wall, he was there. Tiananmen Square massacre in Beijing, he was there. The Bloody Sunday massacre in Iran, he was there as well. The Kosovo crisis, the fall of Kabul, he has been at all these things. He's one of the most experienced and famous journalists in the world. It is a delight to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the World Affairs editor for the BBC, Mr. John Simpson. John, it's an incredible career, and it is just like an enormous collection of stamps in the passport of, you know, not exactly...
Of life.
Oh, yeah, but not of the high points of life, of the grimy worst things that have happened in the country, in the world, in the last 40 years.
There's some really bad places out there, Dara. Some really dreadful, dreadful places.
There are?
Yeah.
You have been in Dolphin's Bar? Which is massively improving at the moment, by the way, yes. People of Dolphin Bar. But there are. But like, I mean, is there a certain glee in having known that you have been at all of these worst moments in humanity?
You know, the thing is, after a bit, I tell the stories so much, I'm not sure whether it was me, you know, or did I just read it? You see, so it's quite insidious. This I don't think. I did do it. I was there, but I can't remember some of them now. Well, okay, don't forget, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest person here, just about. And it's
you've a couple of years on me. I'll give you that. Yeah. But you do look younger. You look about 10 years younger than I do. But that's my pain, and something I've got to deal with. But no, is there such when you're there? Do you feel distance from it because you're chronicling it? Can you not feel the normal rage or disgust that an ordinary person would feel at something like?
Well, I mean, if you work for the BBC, you feel quite a lot of rage and disgust a lot of the time. I don't know. I mean, the thing is that sometimes it's exciting. You know how it is, though. You're spending your whole time thinking whether, you know, what am I going to do next? Where am I? How am I going to get back? What are they thinking? What do I, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Just the technical bits and pieces. How am I going to get these pictures across?
Yes. What's the bloody cameraman doing? You know, what are you know, you're in the wrong place. All of that kind of stuff. There's too much stuff going on usually, and it was only afterwards you think, yeah, I was there. Oh yeah, that's right. It was important.
Right, it's just you're too caught in the whole thing of it.
Too caught up in it.
What's the most scared you've ever been?
Apart from now,
That's because my hand is on your knee.
Oh, I'm glad. Wasn't sure what that was. Yes.
Now it's not.
I would love it.
Yes, it is.
No, that's something else.
I'd love you to turn and said, Gaddafi had his hand on my knee once. I'll tell you about that.
Gaddafi.
Didn't Gaddafi fart all the way through?
All the way through.
Oh, I love that in a dictator.
Bastard.
Like in the tune?
I was. No. To be honest, no. To be fair, no. It was just a monotone the whole time. Actually, I had a really lovely cameraman who's a really, really good friend of mine, and he's Indian. And he's very, he doesn't like talking about bodily functions or anything like that, you know? And so he said to me, came to me afterwards, and he said, I've been listening to the interview. So I said, yes. I could see there was something. And I said, yes. And he said, there's a bit of a problem with the sound. So I said, what are you talking about? I said, you got it, didn't you? Because I thought, I can't go back and say to Gaddafi, sorry, we actually didn't record any of your sound. And so he said, no, he's making noises. So I said, what do you mean making noises? And he said, well, sort of kind of stomach sort of noises. And I said, what, he was farting? And he said, yes, the whole time. And so when we played the recording back, you could see, actually, I was sitting too far away. I was sitting like where you are, because, you know, in case I might murder him or something. And so I couldn't hear these things, but the little microphone was like this on him, you see, so it picked up the whole thing. And so you could see, as he was interviewing, you know, he'd kind of lift up like that as he's talking. And then, you know, and the thunder rolls, and then he sits back in his seat with a sort of little smile, you know, A job worth doing is worth doing well, you know.
He did, at no stage did he go, John,
Well, he wasn't...
finger, pull my finger.
He's a seriously dangerous man. If it was just you and him, and he went, that was you, wasn't it? You'd have to go, yeah, sorry about that.
Weapons of mass destruction.
And John, what is it that draws you to all these dangerous places? Because you have been at every serious historical event in the last 25 years. Like, what is it that brings you there? Is it adrenaline rush or...
No. Oh, nothing to do with that. No, I don't know. I get terribly scared and upset. And, you know, no, it's just interesting, to be honest. It probably sounds crazy, stupid. But I've learned that most of the time nothing happens and it's okay.
Do you ever feel like Angela Lansbury, you know, something dramatic turns up every time you're around?
No, I like to make
Every time Simpson is here.
Simpson's here. Let's go. Go.
It's a jinx.
I never really thought of myself as the Angela Lansbury of television years. That's a nice thought.
It'd be lovely though every time you went, if you just as you walk and you could hear this and
Actually, what you do miss, driving down the road, you know, the sun's shining, everything's happy, little kids wave to you as you go past. What you really need is the music to tell you this is the bad bit. You know, you need dum 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 dum, and then you'd be okay because you think, oh well, that's all right. I keep my head down.
Here, see, you're not a war correspondent. You wouldn't class yourself as a war correspondent.
I don't like war. I don't like those people that call themselves war correspondents. I don't like that business of, you know, because what does that mean? That means I'm sitting at home, waiting, and nothing's happening, and I'm drumming my fingers, and suddenly somebody says, you know, there's a war in Darfur or something. Oh, thousands killed, you know, lovely. I don't like that. There are people.
But they do sit around and try to outdo each other with conversation. I've met a couple, and they do that whole thing. It's like the Monty Python, you know, call that a war. I'll give you a war. I stick it up.
It is a general thing I always have with journalists, is that they have a tendency to, no matter what, if you say to them, well, the midterm elections are coming in America, I think the Republicans are really going to get a spanking, they'll go, no, that's all very played up, like whatever. And then if you say to them, I think it's going to be okay for the Republicans, they go, no. Yeah. And they'll always go, I know so much more than you about this, on so many more levels.
Have you ever met, in your travels of all the world leaders and whatnot, have you ever met Bertie Ahern?
Do you know, I thought this morning, no, I never met him.
Very charismatic.
He's an incredible character. He managed to be the Minister of Finance and not have a bank account.
The thing is, you know, I was based here for the BBC in the 70s, so years back. And but the thing is that people who were quite junior then, you know, later became Taoiseach and then left. So under a cloud usually. So that was.
How we do.
So I saw their entire careers going up like that. Bertie Ahern wasn't around. I don't know what he was doing. He was in his nursery when I was here.